Hello, this is Mr. Cuggy, a cartoon goat that likes to explain things. And having looked at your work, I definitely think we need to have another go at explaining of expressing groups as percentages. Throughout the video, could you please make sure that A, you pause when I ask you to pause, and you have something to write with. That's really important. So you have a pen, something to write on, and perhaps some company like a parent, a friend, or maybe a pet. It's really important for you to talk about your learning. But without further ado, let's have a look at expressing groups as percentages. Before we solve a problem, let's answer one fundamental question. What is a percentage? This is something we should always be able to answer. What is a percentage? Pause the video and tell your parent, friend, or a pet, what is a percentage? Don't worry, I'll be waiting here for you. Let's go. And we're back. So, if your answer was that percentage means a fraction with the denominator of 100, you're absolutely right. Well done. A percentage is a fraction with the denominator of 100. It's a simple fraction that we can always express. I've put x as my numerator because it could be any number at all. When we're comparing groups, it's always good for us to go back to the number 100, which everyone can understand, and percentage is a fraction with the denominator of 100. Now, today we'll be expressing groups as percentages. We're looking at fractions, but fractions are really just a group. And when we're looking at a group, we need to know what a whole is and what are the parts. So let's have a look. What percentage of the group of apples is black? So first we're going to have a look at the whole group. Well, we can clearly see that there is 5 apples altogether. So that's my denominator. And now I can count all the black apples, and that's 1, 2, 3. I hope you agree with that. Now, today's learning goal is to express that as a percentage. So how are we going to turn 3/5 into a fraction with the denominator of 100? In other words, how many times 5 goes into 100? Well, I would have to divide 100 by 5, and that gives me 20. So I'm going to multiply both numerator and the denominator by 20. 3 times 20, it gives me 3 times 2 tenths, that gives me 6 tenths. So that's 60 out of 100. But because I know that 60 out of 100 is a percentage, because percentage is a fraction out of with the denominator of 100, that's 60%. My work here is done. So what we do is we multiply the denominator and the numerator, trying to turn the denominator into 100, because percentages are fractions with the denominator of 100. Let's move to our next problem. Right. Let's look at our math story. And we are going to have a look at a group. And the question is, what fractions of the apples are green? At this point, I would like you to try and pause, try to express the fraction of green apples and see if you can turn it into fraction with the denominator of 100 and a percentage. So pause it, have a think, what's the whole, what is the group, and can you turn it into a fraction with the denominator of 100? And once you do that, you should be able to turn it into percentage easily. I will wait, you try to solve it, and then compare your work with mine. Okay? Let's go. Pause, pause, wait, wait. Have a think. What's the group? What's the whole? Right, let's go back. So hopefully you managed to do all of your working out. Let me tell you how I've done that. So I can see that there is 10 apples altogether, which gives me the denominator of 10. Really nice, really friendly. Now I can see that there is 8 green apples, so that means 8 out of 10 is the fraction of apples, so that 8/10, which makes my conversion of a group into a percentage very straightforward, because I know that 10 times 10 makes 100, so whatever I do to the denominator, I need to do to the numerator, and n times 10 makes 80. So 80 hundredths is the same as 80%. If that was your answer as well, awesome. I hope you're getting better at this as we go along. We can do one more example before it's time for us to move your independent work in a quiz. All right, let's go. Oh, look at that. There's another math story just there. Okay, here you should know what we're going to do. Once again, let's have a look. How do you like them apples? Okay, let's have a look. I would like you to identify the whole, and once again, we are going to see the fraction of the group. We are going to try to turn it into a fraction with the denominator of 100, and that will give us a percentage. So, identify the whole group, how many apples are green, try to convert it into a fraction with the denominator of 100, and that shall give you a percentage. Pause the video, and I will wait. Right, so I can clearly see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apples altogether. That means that the denominator is 5, and only 2 out of them are green. That means that I need to multiply everything by 20, because 5 times 20 gives me 100. 2 groups of 2 tenths gives me 4 tenths, and 4 tenths means 40. That means that the percentage of a group is 40%. Boom, my work here is done. Now, if you notice, it's really easy for me to see what I'm doing because I've taken notes. For time being, it might be a good idea for you to grab yourself a piece of paper and try to do working out just like that to help yourself with converting groups into fractions. Today, you will, on Google Classroom, you will find a quiz in which you will have to do exactly that. And tomorrow, we'll try to find different fractions with the denominator larger than 100 and try to bring them back into the denominator of 100 and turn that into percentage. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Stay safe and have an awesome day.